Okay, so before I get into posting this video, I just want to give a brief explanation for some of the new people that are coming to this page specifically to see the Sante Fe at Bay content that has been removed about Alex of Pretty Pastel Please, and just further discussion around that specifically. Also of note, I am sick at the moment. I know I sound rough. I apologize. I'm going to keep my talking brief in this video. So if you are not familiar with this page and you're looking at the content and it looks kind of confusing and I'm getting some comments saying, well, this person is also a troll. I realize that I'm self-aware that it looks like that. However, this page was created in response to a situation where a group of women did something very similar as Sante Fe at Bay to my friend who is an influencer and pretty much everyone who was connected to her, including myself. If you are curious who Jubilee is and why I make comparisons between her and Sante Fe at Bay, you can feel free to go take a gander at Jubilee's page. I'm Hags, so you'll be seeing my face photoshopped into random, thumbnails. So, but I don't really advise that. You may even very likely see Jubilee in the comments, and she's welcome to be there. Interestingly enough, Jubilee became interested in this situation because I'm interested in it. And strangely enough, Jubilee was one of the last commenters that Sante Fe at Bay responded to before deleting her entire page. Her response to Jubilee was strange, but I will include that at the very end for those who are just not interested in that at all, which is totally fine. I'm going to be talking about this more in depth and leave out all of this comparisons and stuff that people are not necessarily coming here for, and just talk about what actually happened between Sante Fe at Bay, just her consistent 2-year obsessive cataloging of everything that Alex was doing, and her really derogatory way that she spoke about her and her friends, and just some of the weird behavior that I think is really dangerous. And I really wish that YouTube would crack down on, Reddit would crack down on, and I would personally like to see websites like Guru Gossiper just gone, period. So the following is the last video that she posted after the news broke that Alex had passed away. And then quickly, maybe like 6 hours later, removed. Just a note, she removed this video as I was downloading it, so the audio I have all of, but some of the video is missing. I know that's kind of an annoying way to watch a video. I did put captions though, so it is easier to understand what she's actually saying, and you should be able to get the basic gist of it.
Hi, it's me. You know who I am now, I guess. I guess I'm notorious. I guess I'm the villain in this story. I need to address this. First of all, if you're here to tell me I offed Alex, no, I didn't. And any interaction with my channel whatsoever, negatives, positives, reporting, comments, accusations, you're telling YouTube that you're interested in my video, you're promoting my channel. I have had a sudden uptick like this. And in this day, I don't want you to be doing that. I don't want you to do this on this day. Be respectful. If you want to show support to Alex, understand YouTube for one day. Go to your Instagram, make a memorial positive, everything you loved about her, make a video, make a short, do a TikTok, hashtag the tech out of it. You'll get more traction than me. And that is what I want today. This is my 4th of July. It is the 5th, but this is my day when I attend events that I have told my viewers before that is my job. I attend events sometimes. I am going because I am well, I am healthy, and I'm going to go. I am not a partier. I don't drink. It's not wise on these events anyway. And so it's not about having fun. It's about being present. And I plan to do that. Now, this video is going to have a lot of trigger warnings for S-word ideation, for depression, for mental illness, for unchecked mental illness, for lack of mental health. It's going to be gossip discussion and all kinds of unpleasant things in here. If you're easily triggered, I'd recommend you not watch this video. We're also, the one part, I'll try to front load it a little bit. We'll be talking about algorithms, which ended up being one of the villains, just checking my camera, in this story. I only have a little time to edit this, so if I run long-winded and improperly edit out parts and double speak and all of that, like say the same thing twice, it'll be left in. People who know me, know my channel, know that I started accidentally covering Pretty Pastel Please. And then it turned into a series. But I actually made 100 videos, and I hid most of them. Because when I was going through the approval process, the reports that YouTube kept sending me was, we need you to cover Pretty Pastel Please, no one else is. They don't put it in wording like that, that's your analytics. And I was reluctant to cover her many times. I've complained about it many times in the videos. And anyone that knows me knows this is true. I've been not wanting to cover her for quite some time. When I started my channel, it was hauls, a little bit of makeup. I wanted to be picked up in the algorithm. I wanted to be known. I didn't even know of Pretty Pastel Please when I started my channel. That happened during stay at home. And I liked her channel. I was a fan, but I was curious about Shein. A friend had bought Shein, and I wanted to see, is it true that they weren't a scam, that some of the clothes were quality, etc. So I was watching her. She was recommended the Jaclyn Hill thing. Do you remember that? And then the vlog happened where I covered it and it picked up traction. So I covered it again. And then I would experiment and nothing else would pick up traction. And so eventually when I went through the approval process to get membership, that is when I hid the rest of the videos, because they only pick 1 or 2 to prove you through. And they weren't considered bullying. I saw people saying, you're bullying her. I said from the beginning, the very first time Alex put on an Instagram of her being at the beach by the water in the dark, she's telling the truth about S-word ideation. It had been in her Instagram again and again and again that she was close to harm. Like, she didn't say she tried it, but basically the implication was there again and again. She'd wake up every morning hating herself, hating her life. And there's a lot of stuff that I saw that other people didn't see, that certain people saw and other people didn't see. And there were lots of arguments. And when I made the video where I'm wearing a black sweater and I'm crying, I'm so scared for a baby, when being driven by Alex, when Alex is going through the S-word ideation, I was mocked, I was bullied, I was trolled. I hit a lot of those comments. I think only one stays up, and don't bother that man, because he did apologize to me. But I believed her this whole time. Am I happy? Of course I'm not happy. I am very sad. I'm a person that's going to put it in a box until I have a few hours to myself, and then I'm going to cry a lot. I'm going to cry for everyone involved in that. And that is my option. I'm allowed to cry. I've been sad for the whole situation the whole time. I think people who have been with me, subscribers, and you know what? My return viewership is very high. And I've disappeared a few times on these people. And I see you. I see you in the analytics. Even if I don't see you in person, I see you and I value you. My subscribers knew I wanted to stop covering her. I believed this was a toxic situation, and I wanted to. And someone else came along and helped with the topic. I was like, welcome aboard, take over. I'm out. Like, let me find something else in the algorithm. And it didn't happen. It didn't take. So when I returned, I had a 4-month pause. I had really bad health last year. And now suddenly I have the health that I had in my 40s, my mid 40s. I'm in my mid 50s now. I had the health. I want to do everything. I didn't see this coming until recently. And so my plan when I came back was, okay, people are subscribed to me for her, but I want to start showing them again. I'm interested in other creators. In my tea, I named my channel, I put a bio of soft dramatic tea, because I don't want to come with knives out. And I didn't pick this. I wanted to do haul videos. I wanted to show you guys makeup. You know, like, this isn't what I wanted. Nobody wants an algorithm thrust upon them and then be told, you're in algorithm jail. We count on you for this, because look at these keyword searches. Pretty pastel divorce, pretty pastel drama, pretty pastel please, all leading them to my channel. And I'm like, how do I get out of this? And this year, after the 4-month pause, I had a 3-part plan to get out of covering her. Part 1, do a I'm back, hello video, put her just a little bit at the end. And I did that. She was at minute 29. Part 2, I was going to phase her out by like making her part of my tea time tellings, which is going to be 4 creators. That's the goal, 4 creators, and have her be the last one, and wean the algorithm off those keywords and start adding new keywords in. And I put chapter markers to wean those new keywords in. Part 3 was going to be tea time tellings without her in it at all. I do have to tell you, she said that she never watched my videos. I don't know how I can be held to blame if she never watched my videos. I don't know where that's coming from, because she said it in public. And I also am not a member of GuruGossiper.com, which I could tiptoe around saying the name, but you guys are going to guess it in like 3 seconds. So we'll say it. I don't have an account there. I've never posted there. I view it through Chrome. And I can't see their screen caps. So a lot of times I'm in the dark. Like, if I miss something, I'm in the dark. And somebody mentioned a collaboration over there recently. Like, I appreciate the collaboration between Guru Gossiper and Sante Fe. And I'm like, no, but I couldn't say it because I'm not on there. I'm like, there's no collaboration. They're not to blame either. A lot of concerned people came in, and then Alex continued to do things. I don't want to go into too much detail at this point. And it caused a lot of chaos. And then the moderators kept warning her, please don't keep making accounts here. She was making accounts there that would hurt her. That information was not for her to see. And even the bad part about this whole situation is even the positive remarks, even there's better forms of therapy and not snide. And there's, we loved your nose as it was, and we accept you as you are. These kind of comments probably didn't come in through the phase of depression. I did not degrade her for her appearance. I did not degrade her ever for making fashion videos. I appreciated them. And I did not ever degrade her nose or her job. I liked her in the beginning. I really liked her. I looked forward to her videos. And a lot of people stopped during the pandemic when the hair dyeing videos happened. When I received comments, a lot of people are saying, so that's where they wanted to keep the fantasy of Pretty Pastel Please alive. And this is where I encourage you, just flood the internet with positive things. Focusing on me when I'm really busy and I can't look at your comments because first of all, they're ridiculous. Free speech, hello. And second, you're doing exactly to me what you say I did to Alex, who possibly never saw my videos, or at least claimed. And by evidence, Gossiper somebody would post something that she could do or change, or maybe something they didn't like, and she'd immediately adjust in the next section on YouTube or Twitch. Whereas when I make a video, there was no reaction, only Clay. Once in a while, I do believe Clay, hi Clay, might be watching my videos, and I feel so bad for him. I'm going to tell you a little story right now, and this is a very sad story. That after I made, it was sometime around the Instagram post, but around the black sweater video that I made, I had a dream that she did erase herself. And now I said I wouldn't cry in this video because that would be trite, but I might cry. And somebody interviewed me, I don't know who, nothing big, and they said, do you regret covering Pretty Pastel Please? And I said in that dream, I said, no, because these are conversations we need to have, and she's a cautionary tale. And I woke up from that dream thinking, dummy, your channel's tiny. It's not going to ever go viral. What are you talking about? What are you thinking? But I was worried about her, and I expressed that worry. And I was like, regardless of my channel, regardless of what happens, this is a cautionary tale. This is like, I was very worried about her care in Tasmania. I was very worried that she said she was getting Zoom care. Like, your therapist will look at your body language in their videos if they care to, and they will look at your body language when you're sitting in front of them, and the expressions on your face will be clearer if you're in person and talking back and forth. And in addition, just the fact that you're getting out of bed and driving yourself there is so much information for your therapist. Okay, if I cry, I'm going to pause because it would be trite in this video. And that's what I was advocating for in a lot of my videos. Yes, my last one was a little bit snarky, but there was a background story that you're not aware of and shouldn't be aware of and shouldn't look up. We'll let it go, but there was a reason and somebody was hurt, and we'll leave it there. And I recently was listening to Clay's, this was since my last video. I was listening to Clay's Twitch streams, and I haven't posted in like 2 weeks, maybe 3, I don't know. I can't keep track. And he has a good voice. I like the way he plays games, and I don't watch usually. I'll do my steps, do laundry, do housework, have a cup of coffee, watch something else while he's speaking. And his nice voice, calm character, but he's meticulous about his music. And his music was a bit haunting and had messages, and I was like, he's sad. And I went back and I checked the lyrics, and I'm like, he's meticulous, he's sad, and possibly someone's returning to his life from the past. And I thought, if she loses him, she loses everything. And so even though I'm very sad to hear about today, I'm very, very sad, and it's giving me like one of those I want to cry headaches, but what I feel will be nothing in comparison to what the support people that tried to help someone that may have needed clinical therapy in-house, like go to a facility therapy, because it's clinical. What looks like, I'm not a therapist, I have not legal, like I have no credentials here, but with Clay, he has chronic fatigue syndrome. He's public with this, and fibromyalgia. And I had those two, just they happen to be in remission from 2 decades of trying to get to be in remission. So for the most part, they're calm right now. But for me, the pain of fibromyalgia was like if you slam your hand in a car door and it doesn't fade. Like that's it. You're just at that escalated level of pain, and you're trying to act like you're a human, and you want to cry, and you want to curl up in bed, and you don't want to do anything. And he had this, and he was trying to help her with a career, get her career back on track gently, without pushing her, just urging her, because her YouTube was coming up to the 6-month mark. And that was so much pressure. I could imagine how much pressure it was on her if she got cozy. I feel like the term bed rot applies here, but I don't want to. It's not meant in snark. It's just a term that people understand these days, where she's addicted to the TikTok, which she said. And it just seemed like a lot was relying on him and that he could break. And I had loads of empathy for him, but I was thinking, when I heard those songs and when I heard, it just seemed like a lot was relying on him and that he could break. And I had loads of empathy for him, but I was thinking, when I heard those songs and when I heard the tone of his voice, and one of his streams, I only caught the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes of it, and I'm like, he's so sad. He's so sad. And I was just at that point, I was worried for her. I didn't have anything planned to post about her for sure, but I wasn't going to make an effort. And he deleted that VOD, so I couldn't go back and see what is something going on here. And I don't want him to get any torture. He did the best he could. When I'm going to use the phrase probably multiple times in this video, when a drowned person is trying to save a drowning person is trying to save a drowning person, one of them eventually has to save themselves and say, I can't, I can't. And I was nervous. I honestly had kidded myself into thinking she had more friends in Tasmania, or maybe the weight was of helping someone with a severe mental crisis was distributed. I was wrong. At least I think I was wrong. Maybe she reached out, maybe she didn't. Sometimes you just reach out to the person that's there. And I saw her go through trying different kinds of content that would better match her life. She went to thrift stores, but personally, I don't watch thrifting videos myself anymore because my thrift stores have turned into broken down home goods stores. There's no, clothes aren't a thing anymore. But she couldn't pick up traction with the algorithm. And also, being in a smaller area, those owners would know you. Like if you come back and you do videos about them, they're going to know you and feel things. So it just was like I could feel this mountain on her. And that's why I wanted to phase her out of my channel 100%. Even if it meant losing my place in the algorithm, that was the plan. I'm as confused as you are. I did advocate it flavored a lot because I believed her. And I believed her all along. It flavored how my channel was conducted. Don't be fooled by the thumbnails that are just here to get you in through the front door. Those are nothing. Those are just like, take a look. It's a softer, gentler place in my videos. You could disagree. It's fine to disagree. But remember, you're promoting my channel if you throw hate at me. If you throw kindness, I'll see those and I might respond to some with kindness leads because you see like 3 words or something. But I'm not happy. It reminds me so much of the Lee McAllen case where Max and Lee were at van life, and Lee, they broke up and they'd been all over everywhere doing van life with a dog, and they broke up and she moved to Toronto, and she had custody of the dog for a while. Then she didn't have custody. Then she didn't have custody. So loss of pet, if you go through these stress lists, loss of pet, relocation, loss of a relationship that was public. It was also them being engaged. It was also them having a public presence. You put this on a stress chart, the girl was off the charts. Then falls in love with someone they met on the road that she didn't have a prior relationship with, but she built one after. And people called her a cheater. And then she relocated to Los Angeles where she couldn't get the mental health care she needed, and she was in crisis, and she had a new boyfriend that loved her, but couldn't save her. And nobody in her news circle could save her. I even saw one woman apologize. I'm so sorry for sending you home. The holiday was here and I really needed to attend to my family. I'm so sorry I hadn't sent you home. And the thing is, home wouldn't be home to someone that just relocated. And I don't know what the situation was. I just know that she tried to make the channel work. They were sharing the channel at first, but people didn't like her. They were making accusations, and she ended up not being present in life anymore. So I believed Alex this whole time, and it's really hard when you see someone who does have S-word ideation, depression, everything she said, and they're hurting people. And they might be using that to make sure that people do what they want until, then that happens. And I'm old enough to have seen it happen to people, seen people in this kind of situations before. And I tell them, you'll get to a certain point where you have to save yourself. And I think that's what happened with her friends in Sydney and her husband, is that they were all trying, even as a group, to help her, but none of them had the credentials to be mental health support. And they didn't know what they're doing. I don't know what I'm doing on this channel. I want to keep it. I had some fun plans for it. I think leaning into the fun after a pause would be nice. But yeah, she was being phased out. And also that was like treacherous for me to navigate as a creator. Because if even your T channel gives up on you and you have a dedicated T channel, that could be another intrusive thought of being a failure. Do you see what I'm saying there? When I came back, it was like I thought I could come back without. I even stopped putting her name. And I thought salty ginger was a compliment, but I found out from ChatGPT it's not a compliment, it's an insult. And I was like, oh, it's meant to be a funny, like you have pretty hair kind of thing. But sorry about that. But yeah, it just was a treacherous path. Like, I need to come back and I don't want to be covering her anymore, but I'll just cover a couple more tiny stories and then I'm out. Like, that's it. I don't want to do this anymore, except for one. And I wasn't planning it soon because I had 2 or 3 planned before that. I was going to do, and maybe this was where I should leave you. No, there's one more thing I want to say. I would say, if you tell me I can't defend an underdog, if somebody has 700K subscribers and they're weaponizing it against somebody with no social media, very little social media, or very tiny amounts of social media in comparison, and you're saying I can't advocate for these people, that they shouldn't have aggression thrown at them and weaponization of platform, I'm going to tell you, no, that's not true. People can speak up for them. It's sad and scary. It was scary for me to do this channel, but at the same time, you can still advocate for those people, because we don't even know if Dan, her ex-husband, could have been on the edge. Like, what if he walked home, and what if we ended up with 2 tragedies? Walked home, found his wife not awake. We'll put it that way. We could have ended up with 2 tragedies on our hand. There comes a point where they need to save themselves, and the person needs to be agreeable to intense, probably in place. I'm scared of scaring people off, but in place therapy, you know what I'm talking about. And probably, I'm guessing somebody may have floated that by her before, not snarky, just very concerned. And I wonder if that played into her quickly moving to Tasmania. Everybody is hurt. Think of it this way. Oh, I was bringing in the Lee McAllen story because I was going to make a video on that. I actually do still pay Patreon to make Max, even though I don't watch his videos because they're home repairs and I don't want to watch that, but I do still give him $4 a month in Patreon. When I wanted to make a video, I wanted to blame one YouTuber. I was ready. Like, I went in, I was like, I'm going to rabbit hole this, I'm going to deep dive this, and it's completely, like, it's really their fault, and they were the last straw, and blah, and blah. And when I looked at that whole picture of everything she went through, all the changes, all the failures, and it was not like somebody can tell you to make your channel. The algorithm, the haters were actually raising her work in the algorithm. But the algorithm doesn't necessarily love you, and it doesn't necessarily love mental health, good mental health. And therefore, she could see from our analytics, it doesn't matter what these people actually accidentally promoting your channel say to you. What matters is what did the algorithm say to you? And the algorithm told her she was failing. I'm not saying blame everything on the algorithm, it's all of it. And so eventually I started to see this person as like this, like here's the circle and here's this person. And they're not innocent, they're not wonderful, but they didn't make the whole mess. And there's always option to not look at trolls too. There's always that option. Sometimes people give over before they look at comments, they let someone else look at them first, which can be wise, but it can be very hard on that person if they're a loved one. But it's not her fault either. It's not like it's nobody's fault. It's like it's everybody's fault. Like everybody played a part. And I feel extremely sad for her and her family. And I will continue to advocate for good mental health and to have access to mental health services in my country. I've heard that if you go into an ER, and I've seen people say it works, and you say, I don't know if I'm very sad and I don't know if I might do something, they will willingly write you up an involuntary, and some people have like had it switched to voluntary stay to get you into mental health care immediately. And if you are involuntary, from what I understand, it's not worth worrying because they want insurance to pay. So if you don't have insurance, not worth worrying. They're going to boot you out. So you don't have to worry about being forced. But they have a chance to have you get some sleep, get the forms filled out for a deeper analysis, get the medications sorted, get a therapist lined up, and it gives them this chance. It's not great here in the United States either. It's not, and it fluctuates from region to region. But again, I advocate for mental health, and I never wish this on her. Opposite. I was vibing so many happy scenarios for her. Find a wealthy man in Tasmania that doesn't care about social media, and just have your farm with the animals, and just he'll help you. Fantasies like that. Go home to your parents in Sydney, get in-house facility therapy, we'll call it that. And like social media was very toxic for her. For me, I know that some people are worried about me, and I thank you for that, but I have been very in love with my life lately because I got all that energy back. And so I've just been wanting to do everything. So I'm okay. Like I understand these people need to get their pain out and need to target people, and they don't know what they're doing. And if they realized what they were doing, they'd put their energy elsewhere. And I take responsibility, sure, for a small fraction of what's going on here. I certainly do. I knew from the beginning, I knew she was at risk. And yeah, it's been a tough journey. I have not been completely happy. I think the algorithms are our current God, and it makes me very nervous and unhappy that that's the way it is. And I want to tell you what I wanted to put in and I'm not making this up, I promise you, and I'm going to show you why I got on this kick that I wanted to make a positive video about Pretty Pastel Please. I saw a Netflix show, and all of a sudden I was like, you know what? You put out a lot of negative about her, but you did like her, you care, you hope she gets well, all of the above. Why don't you make a let's mix things up? Let's talk about positive things about Pretty Pastel Please. And I wasn't going to put the beginning to be too long, or like my journey. I was going to put a little bit of my journey, a little bit of her journey, but kind of like skip forward to recent times. And she came up with a brilliant idea for Twitch. She, HSN style, was like trying clothes on for the Twitch stream, which was genius. I hadn't seen it done before, where if she had like refined the setup eventually, which give it, that was very entertaining to watch. It's one part where I would raise up and look with my eyes because I'm like interested in clothing. I'm interested in the structure. Is there a flaw? What does that color look like? How does that flow? That's all things that I'm interested in as a person who has way too many clothes. And I thought that was genius. I was going to compliment her and go into details and etc. Then the second part I was going to go into was, I think maybe this will be a final feather in her cap. I think she was copied on Netflix. And I'm going to tell you where it was. It was Geek Girl. And in Geek Girl, it was a redhead. She was like a misfit. She was a nerd, a geek. They nicknamed her Space Alien or something like that. And she went on to become a model. And she didn't expect to. She went with her friend, was a small woman of color, Tiasha. And the small woman of color wasn't accepted in the modeling career as easily as she was. And it's a beautiful redhead with pale skin and freckles. I don't know if I can screen cap Netflix, but I'll put something in here. So this is what I was going to do. And they covered, like, they had a floppy haired young man that she falls in love with, and kind of looks like first boyfriend could have been Sam, you know, like it was in her life, like it was for serious boyfriend. And yeah, as I'm watching this, I go, I think they owe Alex some money. I wanted to put that in a video. I don't want to use her name in an index past this video because you guys needed this video. I didn't need this video because I was prepared and I was hurting and I was sad and I was scared when I heard she disappeared. I was scared that my hunch was correct. And I hope we can have some conversations over algorithms. I don't know how to do this correctly. Yeah, so I'm not doing this perfectly. I'm an imperfect person. I just really, I hope where she is peaceful. And I hope we can learn from this. That's all I have to say. Bye.
I'm going to first cover the comment on Sante Fe at Bay's channel. So Pretty Pastel Please is in the background, her channel, and Sante Fe at Bay from their community tab had done a long post on the algorithm and how they were trying to change their channel. But the algorithm, they had mentioned that their channel cost them $50 a month. And I was like, why are you paying $50 a month for your channel? Is that to YouTube? I thought maybe they were part of the creator fund and it costs $50 a month, which yeah, would be even more reason that the algorithm itself is responsible for a lot of the bullying and violence that happens on YouTube. It is a for-profit platform and it cares more about profit than it does about anything else. And that is what Sante Fe at Bay is talking about in their recent video, which we might watch the beginning of. I haven't decided. Her answer is the equipment upgrades, website that I never use, plus domain name, editing app, AI app, special makeup, outfits, backdrops, light boxes, floor lights, bulbs, mics, cameras, miscellaneous. And then I ruin it with 2 heavy filters and a lack of ambient noise control. This channel costs nothing, absolutely nothing for me to run. And I only